session after the keynote address, and I think you people had tea, some refreshments, so you're refreshed now for about a session which would last for another, I think 2.5 hours. Now, if I can take what was spoken in the morning, right, the keynote speakers, there were 3-4, emerging trends which I could pick up from the speakers that spoke in the morning. And one was, it is a world of mobility, technology, where technology is the key differentiator. Technology today decides, I do not know whether technology decides what you would think, but at least what you will do, how you will do, and the speed of doing, that is what technology determines today, and that's what technology is called a key differentiator. The second one which I could pick up was that it is a world where the employees fire the employer rather than it is the other way around. And the millennium which we saw in the morning, and all research shows that the average age of a millennium is 2 years in an organization. And the millennium decides who should be his employer, how long should he work with that employer, and it is his wish. When I started my career about 25 years back, there was an inherent fear. The inherent fear that you may lose your job if you do not toe the lines. But today, the situation has changed. The situation is that he decides who should be his employer and how long will he work with this employer, and in the process, he decides which company he would like to recruit rather than the other way around. The third point which we picked up in the morning was, in this world, in this changing world, the small organizations are taking over large organizations. The small, nimble, young organizations are taking over large organizations. And typically we see that the new age organizations, they are small, but at the same time, they are very nimble. The speed is very high, the decision making is very fast, and they are devoid of bureaucracy. Now, with this situation, where nimbleness, speed, devoid of bureaucracy is the way of life of the recent organizations which we see. The fourth which we picked up in the morning from the keynote addresses, that the average, it is not only the millennium whose average age is 2 years, it is the chief executives. When about 10 years back, the chief executives' tenure was more than 10 years. And today, the average, if you take an average age of a chief executive, it's less than 5 years in an organization. The organization itself, which used to have a span of 50 to 60 years, today you see those organizations, the average age of organization has drastically reduced, and many of the new age organizations, they come, they do a bit in this world what they need to do, and they get into the next curve, and in the process, they demolish the organization that they have created. Now, with this state of affairs, the corporate world, the world of business is in a state of flux. They're grappling that how do we manage talent? How do we attract talent? How do we reward talent? How do we retain talent? And it's not specific to India, the world over. This is the scenario that grappling with talent is a new way, but for that, the more it happens as HR professionals, we should be happy because that ensures that our jobs are intact. But keeping that in mind, today we would be discussing around two areas which are very, very dear, very, very close to these four things. How do we attract talent? How do we retain talent? How do we reward talent? And ultimately, how do we manage talent?